Hello Fretwellers and welcome back to my Minecraft tutorial. This is episode 64 and in today's episode we are going to be producing some semi-automatic melon, pumpkin, cactus and cocoa bean farms. Now as you can see behind me I have cleared out where the farms used to be just to save a little bit on time so that we can actually get to the main part of today's episode. Now you may be wondering, hey MrMFretwell, why aren't you automating sugarcane too? Well, sugarcane, generally, we are going to be doing a farm design with the cactus, which can also be applied to sugarcane, and as well as that, well, not really actually, I guess you could. This is a bit different to the remaining farms here. Partially because you can break these straight away, like this. It kind of is semi-automatic in itself, really. You would be better off with sugarcane making more of a fully automated farm, because you can actually do that with these things, whereas with some of the other farms you can't. The only other one you can semi-automate is cactus, and the thing is with doing that, you lose some efficiency in actually using cactus semi-automatically. We will come back to sugarcane at a later time, but generally people don't automate these. They make large, expansive farms of these things because it's easier that way than doing an automated solution. There are designs out there that automate sugarcane, but it's a lot different to automating these three. There's a lot more to think about with what's actually going on over these three that I'm going to show you today. So we will come back to sugarcane in the future, no doubt, probably when we are looking at more automating a bit more than what we are going to be doing today. So the first one we're going to be looking at today is the melon and pumpkin farm, and we're going to be making this semi-automatic. Now this one is incredibly easy. It's so easy to automate these things nowadays. All we're going to do is we're going to put a layer of cobblestone on top of here. So we want redstone and we want cobblestone. I may have to go back for some more redstone, which is fine if we do. Similar to how you designed the wheat farm, but you can actually just cover up the water this time. And what you need to then do is put redstone all along the top of this. So just put it along, and as we know from the redstone dust episode, it's actually all the redstone dust will power the block below it. So now put a wooden button on either end. And now we're going to craft up some pistons, and I think I've crafted one of these things before, but if we haven't, then you will learn, or if we have, it's a quick recap. Not a sticky piston, we'll come back to sticky pistons, just a regular piston at this point, and we're going to need 20 of them. So we're going to need for that cobble, wood, redstone and iron, and these make pistons, and I'm sure many of you are familiar with what pistons do. They just move blocks around, and that's what they're going to be used for here. So we've got a crafting bench here. Just whack some redstone in there, some iron, and surround it all in cobble. Need a bit more cobble and you get a piston. And I'm going to just make this one in particular 20, because it will then only be able to craft 20, and I'm not going to waste my resources by crafting more pistons than I need to. So now we can go back here, and we can go back into this area and put a piston facing you on either side, like so. Very, very simple stuff. Like so. Oh, I needed a few more pistons. I did not realise that. We need 2 more, so we can do that. Do I have enough wood? Yeah, I have plenty. My math was wrong. There is only 3 types of people in this world: people who can do math and people who can't. Great quote from Paul Source Jr., that is. Very cool quote. Not sure where he got it from though. I don't know. Oops, it's the wrong way around. Just need 2 more pistons, and I'm just going to pick this stuff back up. There we are. Let's open the door again. And let's venture on to here and finish our remaining 2 pistons. So I did redesign this farm just a little bit, and it will probably need further redesigning. Like this is probably going to have to go to make room for where the melons and pumpkins are actually going to be, if we still want a walkway here, which I think we do. So now we want to rip this up right here and put dirt on it. Well, no, I guess we will be alright. We can, if we're careful, we can walk on the stems of the different blocks. So wherever you have this, and the cobble is going to go here. I'm going to jump into bed actually quickly, just to pass the night. I don't want to get harassed by mobs. Although I think we would be pretty safe here. I'm not going to take the risk, because I can guarantee the moment I do is going to be the moment I get murderized. And plus I can pick up some more steak, which is always good. So here we go. Pass them away the night. We can now go back on the farm. So you could use sticky pistons for this, but honestly it's kind of a bit of a waste, because it will function exactly the same as normal pistons. And we're going to need some dirt, and then we are going to put our dirt down here. And this is where momentarily the seeds of the melons and pumpkins are going to go. Now this kind of works out in our favour a little bit, because we have fences already here, and the fences will stop the melons and pumpkins from flopping where we don't want them to flop. We're going to have to do something about this right here, just so that they only flop forward. We're going to have to eliminate their choices. So I don't have a hoe on me, but I know where to get one. I'm really underprepared for these things. I always forget one thing. Every episode it's one thing I always forget. Last episode it was torches, this episode it's a hoe. There we go, we've got ourselves a hoe, and this is taking advantage of water spreading properties. If you remember, the water is under here, so this earth here will get hydrated. And we're going to do that on this side as well. As you can see, the water is now hydrating out, and whoops, I want to eat my steak, bash it against the gate for gatey goodness. And we want our melon and pumpkin seeds, and we're going to plant them as we would normally do. So what are these? These are pumpkins. We'll have melons on this side. We're going to have melons, and we're going to have pumpkins on this side. And a unique property with these is that if I push the button, as you can see, all the pistons extend and retract, and this will push the melons and pumpkins into the stem. Now, it destroys the melon or pumpkin, but it does not destroy the stem. So you can consistently regrow these. All you have to do is go and walk and pick them up, and then it will be ready to go again, and just store them in a chest. Now, there's probably more advanced ways of getting technical with hoppers and stuff and making this take it away and then deposit it into a chest automatically, but I just want to keep it simple for today, and this is a very, very simple automated melon and pumpkin farm. Now, this melon and pumpkin here and here and there does have a tendency, sometimes it will want to flop over here because of the way that they work. To stop that, all you have to do is put a block in its way so that it doesn't do that. So we could put cobble here, or I think I'm going to go with the nicer look of wood, just in these 4 corners. And you could actually make this into like a little walkway if you wanted to. You just need to make sure that next to the stem there is actually a block on either side. These guys can't go either side because there is a seed there. So that's how that works, and I'm probably going to have to move this gate, aren't I, really? Let's put the gate here, right next to the button, as that makes more sense. And, I mean, you could put something else there. You could put a slab or a stair or anything that's not solid. I may end up putting a slab here just for convenience and just so that I can continue to walk over. Actually, that's a pretty good idea. Let's do that. Let's make slabs. You could put solid blocks down, but if you did want to make slabs, that is a good alternative. We'll just whip up a quick crafting bench here. I'm only going to need 1 set of slabs. Let's pop that in the corner like that, and that will stop them from growing in those particular spots, and we can still retain the usage of our farm here. As you can see, the gate will open and I can go through the gate, no problem. And we can do the same right here. So when the melons and pumpkins are ready to harvest, you can just push this button and it will all automatically harvest and everything's going to be fine and dandy. So now let's talk about automating the cactus farm, and this too is very simple, and this requires pistons just like the melon and pumpkin farm does. You want to break every other sand block like this, because the cactuses are going to be planted on these other sand blocks, and in here we're going to put pistons, and we only need normal pistons because we can take advantage of the fact that sand actually obeys the laws of gravity, so we could save some resources doing that. We only need 4 pistons for this particular design, so we could just wrap these around like so. I always get that mixed up. We just need the standard 4 pistons, and let's take these items back. There we go, and I can now just get back over here and put this down. The advantage this farm has is all the cacti will be destroyed at the same time. And actually, I needed 6. But we can do that later. And one other thing, I put them too high. They're going to go in this slot right here. So 1 down from the sand is where you need to put them. So here, here, and here. So that when these extend, their arm will go into this block and then the sand will raise up, and as we learnt about cacti, if you put a block next to them, they will break. So this is a great farm for taking advantage of that. And what we need to do now is we need to hook up the wiring, and we're going to need to put a button down. I'm thinking maybe putting the button... where do I want to put this button? We can't put it really up high. We would need to keep it fairly low. How about here? That will do, won't it? We can put a wooden button on here, or you could use a stone button. It's entirely up to you. And now if we go underneath and I knock this block out, you will see that if I put redstone under here, that receives power, which is what we want. And now all we've got to do is we've got to dig a pathway around to all these different pistons, which is great in this design because I have a walkway which doesn't have sand, so we don't have sand caving in everywhere. So we can just follow this pathway right here. And as you can see, we have all the pistons here, and we need to get the redstone wire to face into the pistons. So we are actually going to have to invade the sand layer a little bit, but we need to get all of the different things here, as you know, facing in. So this, like so, and then that, as you can see, those are all facing in. Now we just need to do the remaining ones. I guess I could have cut that out. So we still need to do these right here as well, and that will be all of them that we need. So we just need to hook up these 2, and this is fairly easy to do. You just got to get the wiring in, and probably the best way of doing that would be to run a wire back here. And in fact, we may as well do that for everything, just to kind of keep it a bit neat and tidy. If you find that you run out of signal, we obviously know what to do. It's redstone repeaters all the way, but I think we should be okay with this particular design. So I'm going to take this back, and you can put those in like that. And I have a very similar farm to this on MrMFretwell Plays in Minecraft, if you want to see what it looks like on a larger scale than this one. That will be a great show, should I say, to actually check that out and watch that. So we're going to want another 2 right here. Man, this shovel, it's too powerful, way too powerful for dirt, especially in little tedious designs like this as well. So we're going to want some more pistons there. I'm going to hook up the wiring so that the pistons would be okay right there. Now, we're going to have a bit of an issue here, aren't we? Because our final 2 pistons are going to go from here, and we're going to go back here, and they're going to point again, so we're going to have to go 1 further to make it point back into there, and the same again right here. Just trying to work all the redstone in. There we are. These 2 pistons will now 2 activate, Now we've just got to get this guy at the back activated, and I guess the easiest way of doing that would just be to let me see. This is where it gets kind of tricky, because we can't just run a wire down like this, because that will not power that piston. We could it powers any block it's laying on top of, so maybe, well, no, that wouldn't work actually. Let me see. I apologise for this, guys. It just seems to have slipped my mind how I did this before on my other world. Nope, not there. Because the other two pistons are going to go here, you see. So they're all powered and they're all done. We just need to find a way of getting this guy powered and getting the dust to face into the piston. You know what, I will be right back when I figured it out, because I have a design for this and I just slipped my mind, so I'll be right back, guys. Okay guys, I fixed it. All I needed to do was to carry on the wire around here and then go into the back of this piston. And I added a repeater here because the signal strength did run out, so we can actually do that and bump it back up, and there we are. All 6 pistons are raising. I added the missing pistons there. So now all we need to do is put the sand back. So put the sand back, and we can add our wooden walkways back in here as they were. And now, because this is only going to be 1 high, no monsters will spawn in here, so that's just another advantage to doing this particular design. So we want to first put this all in here, and then this. And now let's put our remaining stuff back in, this, and there, and also here. And now you want to put sand in each of the holes, and apparently I don't have enough sand. I probably wasted a few there. Where's the nearest sand? There's some over here, isn't there? I think, yeah, there's some over here. I'm just going to grab some of this sand. Only need 2, so we can just get those fairly quickly. And this is the semi-automatic cactus farm, and I can actually show you now how this one works. Very, very simple. Just takes advantage of the fact that a cactus will break if a block is placed next to it, so we can fill in that, and if I push the button... Oh, right, yeah, I blocked that. That could be, well, no, it couldn't really, could it? I completely forgot about that. Yeah, it will not work unless you have a transparent block there. I know what we can do. I know what will fix it. I would like some... That's not how you make stairs. We can put this back here, and we can actually put an upside down stair. Oops, actually was stood on a piston then. Oops, problem solved. As simple as that. So if you put an upside down stair where a connection would normally be made, but cannot be made, then you will actually be able to still get that connection. So now what we do is we put our cactus back where they were before. Looks no different. Just this button here. Simple as that. And the sand will just fall back down, and I can get my cactus back, which is a great farm. Very simple. I don't need a lot of cactus, so great little farm there that we can use for that. So I will probably put a sign up there later with a little harvest cactus written on it, if we ever want to harvest cactus easily. So I can put my remaining cactus away, and now we've just got the last one, cocoa bean. So we're going to look at that. I'm just going to empty out my chests here a little bit as well and get some equipment. For this one we are going to need sticky pistons. Now sticky pistons are a little bit different. They require a slime ball. And I'm actually almost out of cobble, so I'm just going to collect a bit. There's some exposed cobble back here, I think. I'm running out of everything lately. I'm going to have to go and do a bit of a mining trip, I think, because I'm running low on many, many resources. Other than ores, I've got a ton of those, but the basic things like cobble, which is one of the reasons why I built the tree farm, so I could get a reliable source of wood, but it was not to be at the moment. Okay, so that's going to give me enough cobble to complete this, because we only need this particular design 4 sticky pistons, and we already have 1, so we only need to craft up 3, and sticky pistons are very simple to craft. They are pretty much exactly the same as normal pistons, in a sense that you make normal pistons first. So get your wood and your cobble, like so, and your redstone and your iron, and we're going to make 3 pistons, and we're then going to add slime balls to them by putting the pistons in here. So put a piston in there, a slime ball above, and you get a sticky piston. And we can do that for the remaining ones, and we get 4 sticky pistons. And they've got like this little goo on the front of them. I think we've already used these in the mob trap, but alas, here you go if you were struggling on that front. So now what we're going to do is we're going to actually do the cocoa bean farm. And I need my cocoa beans, don't I? And my jungle wood, actually. My concern with this particular farm is it may struggle to all fit in, so we'll just have to see on that one. So I'm going to just sort a few things out, and I will once again be right back, guys. Okay guys, I'm back, and let's get started with this design. So this design is 5 by 8, so the 5 obviously makes sense to go this way. Sorry, this way, right here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is where the pistons are going to sit. Now we want a gap of 2 between the pistons, so I don't know. Let's just do this, and you want to stack your pistons up like that, and then you need to put your jungle logs down in front of the particular pistons, and then again right here you want to go 2 away and do the same thing. And behind that you're going to want your other 2 sticky pistons. Oh sorry, you need 8 sticky pistons. I was thinking you needed 4 because of 4 jungle logs, but we can go and make some more, that's no problem. I think I have enough cobble just to make 4. All of my cobble is actually in a furnace right now because we need to cook up a repeater. Oh, I needed some stone for that. Oh, we're going to be a bit tight. Oops, where am I going? Be a bit tight. I don't think we're going to have enough to make 4 out of that. No, we're going to be able to make 3, but we need a 4th one, but I can grab 2 bits of cobblestone fairly easily. Let me see, iron. Whoops, other way around again. So we'll make this. And while we're in here, let's also make the repeater. Don't have the torches on me yet. So let's put the repeater together here, because we're going to need just 1 repeater just to extend the signal. I'm going to put those in. There we go, that's that done. So now I just want 2 more pieces of cobble, and we can make our final piston, and that will be all the pistons that you will need for this design. I thought it was 4, it looked to me like 4, but clearly not. And as far as my farms are concerned, the first time I saw the melon and pumpkin farm was on CoStar's video. I believe he came up with that design. The cactus farm I'm pretty sure someone else has come up with, but I actually sat down on my test world and came up with that. And same thing here with the cocoa bean farm. So I don't know exactly if these designs have been done or not before. If they have, please point me out in the right direction so that I can credit the appropriate person. I always get those 2 mixed up. For some reason it just never seems to stick. It doesn't stick like slime balls do to sticky pistons, that's for sure. So I'll have to go back in here again. I'm really going to have to improve this gate situation, because this is no good at all to trying to get around. So now you want to put your remaining pistons like so, and this fence is going to have to move, isn't it, for the wiring. So now we want, we only need 1 block wide wiring. This is a good advantage to this design, and I think We're going to use wood for the wiring. I may change this up later. And I made this one just a little bit too tight. If you're wondering what that clicking is, that is the dropper clock thing for the charcoal maker over there, just if you were curious. So we can put these back in here, and now we can make this. You need to put a layer of 5 down completely around the back, and you also need 1 which we're going to put here, and then on top of here behind where each of the pistons are, you want to stack another block up, and you can do the same for that on the other side. So we want to go 1, 2, 3, 4 and then 5, and then 1 block behind each piston. So that's that done. You can put a button on any one of these that you want. It's entirely up to you, it really doesn't matter, but always make sure that the repeater is facing the right way so that it doesn't act like a diode. So we're going to put our redstone right here, and it wraps around like so, and then we are going to put it around here again, and then up here and around, and then up there like so. Now what we can do here is put our button down. I'm going to put my button right there, and I did not use my repeater. The repeater can go really anywhere, but I would recommend that it goes somewhere where it's quite flat so that it doesn't matter as much. It's too wide so that you can walk through. That was a design with my prior cocoa bean farm. You couldn't really walk through. And here, now you've got all of this space to plant as many cocoa beans as you like. Apart from here, of course, because you're going to have redstone, you could alter the design here if you wanted to, so that redstone would not occur. It's entirely up to you. We're going to leave the ones on the edge just off. And this is about the same, if not more efficient than my prior design, because I had 6 stalks and each had 2 on it, so there was 12. Here we have 4, 8, 12, 16. So there's more cocoa beans here than in my prior farm, which is an improvement. And what will happen is you will push the button, it pushes them together, and all the cocoa beans pop off, and you can collect them. And then you can store them in your chest or do whatever you would like with them. Very, very simple stuff to make this particular farm. So this is how I would lay it out. You could artificially edit this design a little bit to incorporate these 2 right here. You would need to make it a bit more bulky to get it higher, in all honesty. You could modify it as well a little bit to add in for logs here, but it really wouldn't do much more for you. This is about as compact as I could get it for this particular design that would fit in my area. So, good stuff all around, I think. So now, some of the melons and pumpkins have grown. Well, just the melons. So I can show you how this one works. Push the button, and you can just do that. Now, what was making that door activate? Oh yeah, the gate. The gate will open because the button is right there, so we could probably do with moving that. I'm going to put the gate right here. And where's my fence? There it is. Let's put you here and here so that that doesn't happen anymore. There we go. So here we are. Very, very simple, semi-automatic. Oh, we did get a pumpkin. Semi-automatic melon and pumpkin farm, semi-automatic cocoa bean farm, and semi-automatic cactus farm to join in with our semi-automatic using hoppers, wheat, carrot and potato farms. As I say, you could use this particular farm for nether wart as well, as I said a couple of episodes back. So the only thing that we have not semi-automated at this point is the sugarcane, which is not as important. So yeah, that's going to be it, I believe, for automated farming. We have one more redstone topic to look at, and that is tripwire and dispensers. We're going to be looking at that next episode. Then we're going to be moving on to something else, because we've been doing redstone for a long time. And I know that some people who don't like redstone maybe are getting just a little bit bored with it now. So I would like to move on and do something else to please those viewers. And I want to get stuck into some of the new 1.6 features. There's lots to look forward to in that. But yeah, if you want to download this world and play around with my automatic farms, wait for them to grow and test them yourself, then you can go ahead and do so with the link down below. I will probably move these things around a little bit just to kind of get them all comfortably in, so that we've still got walkways and stuff. I may end up hiding this a little bit as well. One thing I would recommend as a pro tip, always keep your redstone away from mobs. You're asking for trouble with mobs, because a creeper will blow up and I can guarantee it will destroy some of your wiring, and then it's going to be a pain to fix it. So that's what I would recommend doing in this particular instance. Now, as far as I'm concerned here, I may move this around a little bit. Certainly move the sugarcane farm back maybe just a little bit to try and give the cocoa bean farm a little bit more room to itself, because we've got all of this mess going on. But this is how it was constructed. That was the purpose of this tutorial, to show you how it was constructed. I can play around and modify things a little bit myself off camera at a later date. I just wanted to try and keep things simple at this point, and I hope that you have found these automatic farms useful. The idea here was just to give people who are not familiar with redstone just a little nice start to get into kind of automating the different farms. And I mean, you could automate this further. You could add dispensers here on top, which make water flow down into a pit here, and you could have hoppers going on, and that would be a fully automatic farm apart from replanting. And that will probably be about as automated as you could get one of these things. But I hope that you've enjoyed this kind of little mini-series on semi-automatic farming. This has included a tree farm, vine farm, the fully automatic charcoal farm there, semi-automatic cactus farm, semi-automatic carrot, wheat, potatoes and netherwort farm, semi-automatic melons and pumpkins, and semi-automatic cocoa beans. So we've basically at least semi-automated every single thing in the game that can be, aside from mushrooms, which we have not really looked at much at all yet, and the remaining one, which is, of course, sugarcane. So, do I hear a spider in my farm? Better not be. But yeah, that's going to be just about it from me today, guys. I hope to see you in the next episode, and I hope that you found this tutorial useful and informative. So until next episode, guys, see you later, and have a good day.